another episode of The Metal Voice. And usually, Jim and I sit here and talk about what we've been listening to during the week. And now we decided to put a camera in front of us and do this on a weekly basis to share our opinions with you out there in the Netherlands. So, Jim, what have you been listening to this week?
You know what? You know what I love about the show? We do what we want. We're the men. We're the man. The man don't tell us what to do. We are the men, or the man.
We're our own bosses.
We're our own bosses, right? So time is money. Iced Earth.
Iced Earth, great band.
Glorious Burden. So as you remember in the tale of Iced Earth, they start off with a few singers. They had Mike Barlow, who was the lead singer of Iced Earth, the classic era, we'll call it, and then Ripper Owens came into the band.
Who replaced Rob Halford and Judas Priest.
So, quickly, music-wise, I would call it more of a Maiden sound, galloping bass, galloping guitars, twin guitar attack, voice, somewhere between Rob Halford and Ronnie James Dio. Ripper Owens kicks butt on this album. And lyrics, where we're more historical emphasis, you could talk about the lyrics.
It's like a concept album, It's
Here, I will pass this to you.
It's one of my favorite. It is my favorite Iced Earth album. You got a kind of lyrical content. You got a little bit of a concept running through it. Songs about Valley Forge, about what happened in 9/11 with When an Eagle Cries. Right. Also Attila the Hun, the Red Baron. So these are all songs. This is kind of a common thread running through the whole album. But really, the pièce de résistance is the last three songs. It's a trilogy about Gettysburg. The Civil War, especially the American history in the Civil War era, is very close to John Schaefer's heart. And he decided to dedicate, after visiting Gettysburg, do a trilogy of songs. One song is for each day of the battles. So you have three songs. And also, if you buy the CD, which I highly recommend, you've got the liner notes that explains everything, the moods he was trying to create during, to reflect what was going on to the battles, so that it's really well thought out.
For people like me, Alan, who don't read books, I don't read books. No, I do. I don't read books, but you know what? I need my CDs and my music to tell me about history. Yeah, I mean, and there it is.
He talks about the real events, the real characters that were there, real generals and everything, and he's trying to create certain atmosphere, which is all explained throughout the liner notes. You can see that it's held very dear to his heart, and that passion that he has comes out to this album. It's my favorite album by Iced Earth by far, and I think
I have a few favorite Iced Earth albums, but I would definitely put this as one of the best ones. I would say somewhere between 9.5 out of 10, maybe even borderline 10. Right? I mean, it goes up there. This is like a punch-in-your-face album. Everything you need in a metal CD is right here. Go out and buy Iced Earth, Glorious Burden. Who else will tell you about these albums? What, you can turn on the radio station and you hear Iced Earth, Glorious Burden? I don't think so. This show will tell you what to buy and what you need to buy. How about you, Alan? What have you been listening to this week that you want to just tell the metal community out there about?
Well, this week I've been listening to Avantasia, the Angel of Babylon. Basically, Avantasia is a side project of Tobias Sammet from Edguy. He started out with the metal opera. Basically, he wanted different singers to come in and sing his songs and create different atmosphere and see how it would sound on playing his music. So he did the Metal Opera 1, Metal Opera 2, and then the latest trilogy started with The Scarecrow, which, Jim, was my favorite album from a couple of years ago. And then these two, Jim, well, I think the last time it happened was probably Guns N' Roses, Use Your Illusion Part 1 and 2. These two albums were released at the same time. We got the Wicked Symphony and Angel of Babylon. Again, this is part 2, part 3 of what we call the Scarecrow trilogy. Wicked Symphony, Klaus Meine from the Scorpions, and again, he's got all these renowned singers. Michael Kiske from Halloween, Jorn Landy, Russell Allen. Who plays drums on this? Eric Singer. He's got on keyboard Jen Johansson from Malmsteen way back when. So again, this one's a little bit, Wicked Symphony, a little bit more on the darker side. Basically, the whole trilogy is about somebody that has success, falls on hard times, goes through hell, and then comes back towards a more positive side of life. So,
what would you classify the metal? What would be the metal category?
It's a little bit more melodic than Edguy. Still very heavy, but the focus is much more on lyrics and creating moods within the songs that the different singers can take those characters and take it to another level. But again, two very strong albums. Highly recommend Stargazers, Angel of Babylon, and Rat Race. Stargazer is a 9-minute song, and that's how he starts this
That's
album.
how you gotta start an album, 9 minutes long.
So again, Jim, I know you're not too familiar with them, but
you know what I
highly recommend
An
it.
amazing thing is, actually, I've heard of Avantasia, but I've never actually heard the album, so you know what, I'm gonna borrow them, Alan, and then I'm gonna buy them.
That's right. And
I
you
like
know
them
what?
so much.
Forget about just boring. Go out and buy them. You're
buy
gonna enjoy them that much. So.
Let's, instead of the metal debate, we're doing something different today. We're doing our R.I.P, a RIP. RIP to Gary Moore, and I guess I'll let Alan do the RIP today.
Thanks, Jim. Gary Moore is one of my all-time favorite guitarists. I have basically everything that he's ever recorded. Unfortunately, a couple of weeks ago, while on holiday in Spain, it seems to be an apparent heart attack, and he died for what we think is way too soon at the age of 58. So, Gary Moore again started with Thin Lizzy on and off. Went on, tried a solo career. Always tried to find his place, you know, more of commercial leanings with Corridors of Power, hard rock leanings with Victims of the Future, which is one of the great albums that he's released. Was rumored to replace Randy Rhoads in Ozzy Osbourne's band.
That's right.
A musician's musician, highly respected guitarist, but because he was always reinventing himself, probably didn't get the recognition here in North America. Until he released his blues album, Still Got the Blues. The succession of blues albums afterwards just created a wider audience for him, more recognition, more respect. Of course, very little touring here in North America, a lot in Europe, and that's unfortunate. I was able, Jim, to see on Def Leppard's first headlining arena tour for Pyromania. Gary Moore opened with Crocus, and great show, a great guitarist. I was fortunate enough to witness one of his only outings here in North America. And again, if I had to recommend some listening for him, it would definitely be Victims of the Future, Still Got the Blues, and also one of his latest box sets. It's Live at Montreux. It's all about the Montreux Jazz Festivals. It's each and every one of his appearances. It's on 5 separate CDs, and you've got all his whole blues career, his second, I would call his second career on there from A to Z. So it's a great buy and purchase, and I highly recommend it. So.
Since North America didn't give him the respect that he deserved, well, we're giving the respect that he deserves today on The Metal Voice.
So what we're going to do is, again, check us out at www.themetalvoice.com
or themetalvoice@gmail.com if you want to send us an email.
So we'll just fade to black with a moment of silence for Gary Moore. May he rest in peace.